Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. Today I thought that I'd do a quick voiceover to go along with the speed paint, talking about some of my thought process and what actually went into drawing this. So I really struggled with the composition for this one. It's like, most of the time when I draw, I keep the composition fairly simple and straightforward, but I didn't think a simple and straightforward composition really suited Zero. Pretty much every drawing that I see of her, it's super chaotic, it's got a lot going on, fairly busy. Her character design is kind of the same way. So I tried to put a little bit more into it, and you can see at the start here that initially I wanted to go for a more vertical picture, but couldn't quite get it to work, so I tried moving it horizontally, and experimenting a lot with that there. And I moved the foot around in several different ways, put her body in various different places. I even brought in, a guide with the golden ratio to help me figure out where to put things. Initially, it had a light background. It went through so many changes before I finally settled on what it would actually look like. It's funny, too, because for a while I was actually planning on just scrapping this one and trying a different idea, but I liked the idea enough, and I thought that it had enough merit that I decided to keep trying and see if I could make it work. But it's just amusing to me, because when I was thinking about scrapping this idea and keeping a new one, I just moved all the footage into another folder that I just called Scrapped Zero. Just in case I changed my mind and decided to keep it. So I'm still having... that folder's name is still Scrapped Zero. And it just seems very appropriate, given Zero's story. But yeah, you can see that here it's starting to take the form of how it's going to look in the end. And it took a lot of trial and error to get there, and now you can finally see all the attempts that I had to do there, and especially early on, it's like the proportions completely off. I didn't care. It wasn't what I was trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out the arrangement of various pieces and how to make them all actually look good. And I figured that I'd do all the proportions later. And see here that I'm starting to kinda care about that, but it's still mostly just, oh god, how do I arrange all of these pieces? How do I put in all the things that I want? How do I make this as Zero-like as possible? And I ended up paring back a lot of things. It was a lot busier in my head in some of the initial ideas that I had. But I just couldn't get a lot of it to work, so even then I tried to keep it a little bit simpler, focused a lot more on the coloring and that kind of things. Highly simplified the kind of glitchiness on the glass and lots of stuff like that. But now it is starting to take shape, and once I got some of those initial ideas down, I start digging into the proportions and stuff, which was another adventure given the kind of extreme perspective that I was going for here. For the most part, early on, when worrying about composition and perspective, I tend to just take the barest parts. So here I was trying to figure out, the arrangement of all the pieces, what kind of elements that I wanted to include. And then, once I get into proportion, I paid a great deal of attention to what is in front and what is in back. So you can see here that even though I haven't dug into the proportions too hard yet, you can clearly see that the foot is in front of the leg, which is in front of her hips. And that, I think, is the most important thing when thinking about perspective. Just making a clear distinction between what is in front and what is in back. Here I had to go a little bit harder, because what it was in front was really, really far in front, or at least I wanted to give it that impression. So I had to pay attention to a few more things than just what's in front and what is in back, but in general, that's a good place to start. And then the other thing that I always really tried to do is try to get the picture into a state where I like looking at it. And the biggest thing that helps with that is, one, getting the face to look okay, and two, getting any, like, emphasized elements to look okay. So that's why the first things that I really drew, even before fixing a lot of the perspective, was I detailed the face and I detailed her boot. Just so I could kind of get into a state where I liked the way it looked. But you can see I'm starting to care about the perspective here. And one of the things that I think helped sell the perspective here, especially are areas around her legs and her stomach, was making things look like especially round. I don't start detailing that for a while, but if you look at the final picture, the way all the stuff on her leg coming forward there just gets really, really round, like really, really curved around it, I think did wonders in selling just how much further forward her foot was compared to the rest of her body. So I think that's about all I have to say about this picture. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments, and if you enjoy this kind of video format, do leave me a like. I'm trying to get adopted by the algorithm, so all of those, any likes that you can send my way definitely helps a lot. It's very much appreciated, and it tells me that I should make more videos like this in the future. And if you'd like to see more art, consider subscribing to my channel, and that way you'll be notified whenever I release any new videos. So, I'll see you all next time. Enjoy the rest of the speed paint.